Hi everybody, I am your host Jody Topitz, and this is my show We2Me Divorce Decor, where a house becomes a home. We2Me helps you reinvent yourself, feel a sense of permanency, and feel good about your surroundings through the uplifting psychological impact of color, design, and of course a shoulder to cry on, and even more important, a show to watch that addresses these things. Today, this is part 2. I have my very special friend and guest on, Doctor Lorraine Maita, and we are, hopefully you'll tune into the last show. This one is, we're going to call it Manopause, whatever. Dr. Maita, I'm going to reintroduce you again. I'm so happy to have you. Why don't you tell everybody what an anti-aging doctor is, and then we'll go into menopause, because men, you guys get it too. And it could be a recipe for disaster when you're doing it at the same time. Spouse, and not good. Bad. All right, say what you are.
I'm Dr. Lorraine Maita, and I'm a functional anti-aging medical doctor who helps people get to the root cause of what's ailing them from the inside out in a very holistic way.
And especially, and what we're going to focus on in this show, we talked about in the last show, we could review, we talked about diet and de-stressing, and we mentioned hormones, but we're going to focus more on hormones because, didn't you say hormones are like the big bad boss of your, of
They're
everything?
They're a good boss.
Well, actually, they're the good boss.
They're
You're
the
right.
Good boss.
Unless you abuse them, then they're bad. Yeah. Very bad.
Yeah, hormones control everything.
They do.
But a lot of what we do controls our hormones. And I know we wanted to talk a little bit about how the hormones change in midlife, and how, I have a theory that midlife crisis can be very much hormonal. It changes personalities.
Well, think about those stories, the guy runs off and leaves and gets a Porsche, and the woman, goes and has an affair, or I know people do weird things. And your theory about hormones, I really believe it's right, since both of us have already been there and done that, because we're not spring chickens, but we look damn good. We look damn good. We're both each 100 and something years old. I've been going to her forever. Just kidding, but we are older than we look. So talk about, that's really important, the hormone thing, because I became your patient because I wasn't feeling good, and it was all hormone related, diet too, but all of that impacts. So people listening out there, explain really how important hormones are, and let's talk about, maybe we want to talk about menopause first and then menopause, or whichever you want.
Well, men go through lowering testosterone in menopause. And now our diets have a lot to do with it. You were mentioning that cortisol can make men get fat around the middle. They make men and women get fat around the middle. But men's diets can totally change their hormones, because if you get man boobs and a man...
Moobs. Those are called moobs.
Moobs?
They're not pretty. Sorry. Yeah,
we're rewriting medical history here.
Rewriting. You know me. I just jump in.
Well, they get the big bellies and the big boobs, but alcohol, nutritional deficiencies, weight gain, all makes men turn their testosterone into estrogen, and that's not a good thing. No. It's very bad for their health, but it's also very bad for their moods. And then testosterone gets lower. There are a lot of estrogens in the environment that really wreak havoc with your hormones. They call them obesogens.
Like what? Like give an
BPA's
example.
in plastics.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Herbicides, pesticides.
That I knew, but not the plastics.
Hormones treated with, your meat, your poultry, your dairy, they're all treated with hormones.
That's why you should get organic,
yes.
Even though it's a little more expensive.
And then there's also the personal care products. They're filled with phthalates, parabens, fragrances, sodium lauryl sulfate, petroleum distillates.
Oh my God.
All of this stuff affects your hormones, and they make you fat. Fat, flabby, flaky, foggy, fatigued, and forgetful. So if you are exposed to these, that's why I tell people, do not heat in plastic. Eat the Dirty Dozen Organic, and you can look them up on the environmentalworkinggroup.org, EWG.org.
Okay.
They change every year, but they're pretty much the same, so you can even Google the Dirty Dozen. Eat those organic because they have the most herbicides and pesticides.
Can you give us a few examples, like maybe even just 3 people?
Sure.
You can look it up.
Apples, bell peppers, celery,
Wow.
Strawberry, spinach, lettuce.
And why do they have the most? Are they the most porous? Or are they the most, why?
They're sprayed more.
Oh, they're sprayed more.
more, and they just get incorporated into the fiber of the fruit or the vegetable.
Wow,
so
that's a great tip. So when you go organic, for sure, try to go organic everything, but those especially, really make sure they're organic, wash everything really well, right?
Exactly. And then there's the Clean 15. Those you don't have to worry about very much.
What's that? What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus, some of the things that you can peel, but it changes every year. So I just have people,
go through.
Google the Clean 15, Google the Dirty Dozen, and anything in between. If it's, I buy organic as much as I can.
Yeah.
Sometimes, the strawberries are, like gold, so I'll just skip strawberries and buy something else.
Yeah.
But those things really can wreak havoc on your hormones and your weight.
Yeah.
And then the personal care products. So now there's so many available. You can get them in CVS.
Yeah.
They're free of parabens, phthalates. They wreck your thyroid. They make estrogen, which is terrible for men, and menopause.
Yeah, that's terrible. These are really things I'm learning. I didn't know that much since.
So that if you're eating like what's out there and normal, men get fat. The fat causes them to change testosterone into estrogen. If you have nutritional deficiencies like zinc deficiencies, that will do that too. And then
how do you know if you do? Do you have to take a test?
I usually do a test.
Yeah. Well, you do a whole blood panel, because when I came to you, you tested everything to find out where I was strong and where I was not strong. Where
Exactly.
You did improvement. Okay.
Alcohol will also, excess alcohol. I'm not
saying,
I'm not, advocating complete abstinence, but when
you
have
can't,
excess.
You're married to a German man who collects wine. She's married to a German man who collects wine. We talked about him in the first show. Weitwein, his favorite. Right. Okay. Just saying. Yeah. No, we can't eliminate wine completely.
No.
But
everything. But excess can change testosterone into estrogen, and it happens for women too. A lot of the women who can't lose weight, they're just, they have some testosterone too.
Yeah.
It makes you gain weight, and the chemicals in personal care products. So there's so many things that are parabens and phthalate-free natural care products that are now less expensive. It used to be extraordinarily expensive, but now they're very inexpensive. And I have a lot of suggestions for people.
What's a healthcare product that somebody wouldn't think of normally that you'd go, whoa, that deodorant? Or, is there something that people...
Just ordinary skin creams. They're made with petroleum distillates.
Oh, that's
shampoos. Not good. Anything that suds have sodium lauryl sulfate.
Right.
And
the mineral
parabens.
oil's not good, huh?
No, it's not good.
Oh dear, I have moisturizer with mineral oil. I guess I gotta dump it, but my skin looks so good when I use it.
Oh, I have other things that make you look so good.
Like what?
Well, I like Phytopro from Orthomolecular. It's all made with natural products.
So I've seen that in Sephora.
And I like Juice Beauty. Juice Beauty is very inexpensive, and it's available in many places on juicebeauty.com, Amazon.
We're going to talk after lunch. You're going to give me a list.
I'll give you a list.
Yeah.
And if you go, I have an educational website, vibranceforlife.com, and I list a lot of things on that
there
website.
To look up. Yeah.
So what happens is when you're exposed to these environmental toxins and when you're under stress, it wreaks havoc with your hormones. I tell people what you eat, what you drink, how much you sleep, how much you exercise, the toxins you're exposed to, the amount of stress, all affects your hormones. So what happens with men is, they're eating what's normal for everybody. They're getting fat.
They don't know why.
They don't know why. Their testosterone's turning into estrogen.
And now they're getting weepy, right?
Do they get
a little...
Men don't feel it the same way women
But they get less aggressive?
Yeah, they get listless. They lack motivation. Yeah. They don't feel like themselves.
They fall asleep while you're talking to them.
Yeah, they grab the remote. They get lazy. They're the term grumpy old man. Well, that's how they feel, even if they're young. And I'm seeing it earlier.
That's interesting.
Earlier and earlier, yes. So they retreat. Men start pulling into their man cave. They're less communicative. They're less aggressive. They just don't want to take it on. They can't hear it. They just don't feel like themselves, and they're trying to do stuff to stimulate them. This is why they go out and they buy the Porsches, and they try to have an affair, because they want to feel like a man again.
They go from We2Me. and then they call me. Okay, so
But a lot of them come to me first. That's the idea. They have to come to me first because I can save the marriage.
You can save the marriage, and then I can still do the place because
because
we
then
want them to be happy, like I did yours.
Right. So men start to retreat, and they feel less of themselves. They don't have the strength, the energy, the endurance they used to have.
Yeah.
But what happens with women?
It's kind of the opposite, right?
It's totally the opposite. In midlife, in their 30s, they start running out of eggs, which when they ovulate, you make progesterone, which is calming.
Right.
So they have unopposed estrogen. It's the hormone estrogen, energy, and growth.
Right.
So too much energy, anxiety, irritability, impatience,
over the
snappy.
top.
They don't know what's driving them, and they say, I have a charmed life, I don't know what's wrong with me, I just snap at people.
Right, and I feel so badly about it, and then they burst into tears.
Yes,
yeah.
And they do, and they feel out of control,
Yeah.
and then they start gaining weight because unopposed estrogen just makes everything grow, and they're not sleeping as well, so they get even more irritable, and the women, and I have couples come to me all the time, and I describe this to them, and I say the woman is just, in your face.
Yeah.
And then the man is, just turning around, and they're there shaking their heads.
That's
yes,
us.
That's
that's not
happening.
us, but I'm saying they say that's us.
Exactly. That's what's happening. And
Yeah.
they're feeling extremely uncomfortable, and they don't know what to do about it. So this is when, usually starts with one member of the couple will come to me. Sometimes they come together.
Right.
I talk to them about diet first, how much it affects their hormones, and I help them balance their hormones, and it's like they're reborn.
Yeah.
So then men's testosterone, sometimes even without the dietary changes, it just by nature will get lower.
It decreases, yeah.
And that's when they get, more cardiovascular
They're getting
disease.
moves, and women are getting chin hair.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
We're trading.
That's why you always carry 3 sets of tweezers. One in the car, because that's the best light. One in the bathroom, and one in the handbag. I'm just saying. So, yeah.
All right, I need one for my car.
You do, because that's the best light.
I didn't know
I
that.
wrote a book about it.
Oh.
Well, not about that. It's one of the chapters. It's called Pluck You.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I must have forgotten that because I did read Pluck You.
Yeah, you did read Pluck You.
And I laughed.
Yeah, it's funny.
It is
You've
very
got to
funny.
laugh at yourself.
Yes.
But you can't laugh at yourself if you're feeling crappy. And that's why it's good to come to you, because there is no sense of humor when you're feeling that way. Once you realize, what's wrong, and you start to feel a little bit better, then, you can, age gracefully and laugh at yourself.
Absolutely.
You really should, because you're not supposed to look 20 when you're 60 or close, or 60.
Well, some people try to look 20 with all the Botox and fillers and plastic
that's
surgery.
A weird look.
But they don't feel
they
right
still don't
inside.
feel good inside, and that's the problem. And that's why I think, and may I say something? You know what my theory is, and I think that's why sometimes people get addicted to plastic surgery, because it's like a big black hole that they can't fill, so they keep doing more and more because they still don't feel good. They look in the mirror and they still don't feel good. And I think it really starts, I agree with you obviously, because that's why you're on my show, is that it does start from the inside out. Feeling youthful and vibrant from the inside out is so important, and I don't think people think of that. They're always the topical. And that doesn't really, yes, you do feel good when you put on a nice dress and a little bit of zhuzh on your lips, and you go out and you do your hair, and all of that is great psychologically, and you should do that, but you need all of it, like we talked about in the first show. You need all of it. You need to look at your life and see, where you can be positive everywhere.
Yeah.
Where can you plug in all the positives?
And people are suffering. They come in tears. They said, I go to the doctor, they say I'm normal, or you're just getting old, just suck it up.
Yes.
Who wants that?
I don't.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that.
You want to feel good. You want to
do.
look good. You want to be yourself, do the things you've always done. You want to, rekindle that love.
Yeah.
And
still have that energy.
Exactly. And then some women who, they're divorced, and men themselves who are divorced, they want to get back in the game again.
Yeah.
And when you're feeling like that,
so if once it's too late,
it's never
once
too
you've
late.
gone from we to me,
it's never
never too late. But I'm saying if it's too late for the relationship and you want to now go from me to we, it's a good time also to come and take control of your health. on every level and learn. So many people know so little about diet, and I always find it surprising because I feel like I've always been on top of that stuff, but yet I'm still always learning. That's why I was excited for you to be on, because just the first show that we shot and now this one, I've already learned things. But it's surprising how many people don't know about nutrition and about hormones and about sleep, and they just think it's okay to neglect 2 out of those 3 things and they should be fine. Isn't it shocking?
It is shocking. Well,
in this day
what?
And age,
we have so many people marketing to us about this is healthy, that's healthy, and we have health food stores. Not everything in a health food store is healthy.
That's a great point.
Or what's healthy for one is not healthy for someone else.
I have a great question for you.
Okay.
In the health food store,
yes.
What's 3 things that are not healthy to totally avoid? I know one of them that you're going to say, but
you
go ahead.
do?
I think so.
Right.
No, I think so.
Well, juicing. Juicing is not necessarily healthy because you get such a huge sugar load. It's
Right.
kind of the difference between a normal day at Walmart when somebody goes in and gets processed, comes out, everything is fine. On Black Friday,
Exactly.
you've got this rush of people,
my
or this
God.
rush of sugar
Yes.
trying to get into your cells. It ages
and they're
you.
knocking people down and you know,
Right.
knocking
Well,
down
the
doors.
excess sugar
Yeah,
in your
it's too
body
much.
is binding to protein in your body. That's what dementia is. That's what cataracts are. That's what your skin just wrinkles up because it's a sugar binding to the protein.
I am never having a cannoli again.
But, when you combine sugars with protein and fat, it absorbs more slowly and then your body can handle it. It's like trying to have 10 Thanksgiving meals
All shoved into one plate.
You can't, it's not, it's hard on your body.
Yeah.
Another things are some gluten-free processed foods.
They're really not so, right?
It's starch. It's replaced with starch that
And
is
people grab it and pick
like
it up.
sugar. Starch is just
like
sugars
the corn,
put
like
together.
corn and starch, right? Starch and corn. Yeah. Not
It's
so
just
good.
those, like, you could just down those
Yeah.
so easily, and then like, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened here?
Yeah.
And you got a lot of empty calories, and they make you think, oh, there's veggies packed in this, but it's not necessarily.
So be careful. So when you look for gluten-free products, what should you, when you're going down, what's the word that you should go, oops, I'm not buying that bag of gluten-free whatever.
Well, look at the serving size, but most of all, it's what it's processed.
Yeah.
Because if you took something that it was made of, like even if it was the corn or the soy or the potato, and you had it, cooked or whole, and then you chewed it,
Right.
it's going to take time to digest.
process.
But once they
Done
fluffed
it
it and
for you.
puffed it
Yeah.
and done all of that, it goes like that.
It's Black Friday at Walmart.
It's Black Friday at Walmart, exactly. So those processed foods are not necessarily healthy. Look, if you have celiac disease or if you have a gluten sensitivity and you really want a sandwich, okay, have some gluten-free bread, or
Yeah.
you really want to have that, but not on a regular basis.
Right. That's me, and you already know
Yes,
because I'm
exactly.
your patient. So I am very good about that.
I'm not perfect, but
Yeah.
there are times I want some things, and
You have it.
You have it,
Because
but
then you can't stay perfect. You
No,
can't do that
you
5 or
can't.
6 days a week doing a really good job if you don't have that 7th day to, maybe have that sandwich with the gluten-free bread, or maybe take a little piece of the fabulous homemade Italian bread with olive oil and fresh ground pepper and a little bit of balsamic, and just
Yes.
maybe you have a little bit of that.
Exactly.
What's
But not
one?
every day.
What's one more thing in this store? I thought you didn't mention what I thought you were going to say.
Why don't
yet.
you say?
I thought you were going to say granola because people think, there's a lot of sugar in granola, and that's like a hidden, scary thing. And I've noticed when things say fat-free, avoid that because then they usually replace that with sugar, right? Usually to make it taste better,
exactly.
they shove in all this fat, the sugar.
Exactly.
Which I think sugar is worse for you than anything.
It
Not
is.
anything, but it's way up there.
It's
pretty bad.
It's as addictive as cocaine.
Yes, I did read that.
It's
That
as
is
addictive
true.
as cocaine,
Yeah.
and I actually found the studies to
Yeah.
show that.
Well,
and it's,
look around how many people are having weight issues. It really is the majority of the public or population. It's sad, especially what really upsets me is when you see small kids already. They're like, whoa, it's a problem already. That's a shame.
all those obesogens in the environment.
Yes, yeah.
They're masculinizing, the demasculinizing men early. I
Right.
mean, I'm seeing 20-year-olds that have the hormones of a 50 or 60-year-old, and they're feminizing women early. There's early puberty now.
Yeah, I know.
Because of the obesogens in the environment.
That is so bizarre.
There's estrogen in the environment,
Yeah.
and they act like estrogen. They're chemicals that act like estrogen.
So really, one of the rules that I don't know if you told me or I read this somewhere, but I know you'll agree, is eat foods with one ingredient. Like a broccoli, a cauliflower, an egg, there's nothing else in it. There's nothing processed. It's pure.
Exactly.
That's a good way to go. Eat like you're on a desert island. They don't have ice cream there or cannolis.
Exactly. Even the yogurts. I mean, yogurt is good for you if you don't have a dairy sensitivity.
Right.
But a lot of times they're filled with these fruits that are really just syrup, and they're flavors.
And it'll say
natural
fructose.
Natural flavors.
Natural flavor.
That's not even. No.
Get a Greek yogurt if you're not dairy sensitive and put real strawberries in it.
Exactly.
Do that. And maybe if you feel like you need real honey, maybe a tiny bit just to, but not.
Exactly.
It's not that hard to flip it.
No, it isn't.
It really isn't. And what happens is, and when I started going to you as well, is I started feeling better and better and better. And I really thought I had it under control because I'm pretty darn healthy. But I didn't realize I could even feel better than I had. It was great.
Yeah.
And there's so many things that I look at now that I used to love that I don't even feel like it's been so long out of my system. I go,
Yeah, I try some things once in a while, and it's like I didn't really like it anymore.
It's okay. I'm all right, whatever. Or if I feel like I'm gonna binge eat something like for my day 7 where I'm gonna treat myself, I don't feel so good after. And then I think to myself, was it really worth it? Okay, maybe next time I'll only have 2 pinole cookies on my 7th day, not an entire dozen. Because I love pinole cookies.
I do too.
Oh, and you do it's a pinole, it's a pine nut, it's healthy. Yeah. But those are all things that you can balance in your life, and when you start to feel better about how you're treating yourself, you're going to want more of it. It's almost you become addicted to the good stuff, or addicted to the good stuff, as opposed to the addiction that a lot of people have to the bad stuff.
Yeah, people don't realize how much food affects their hormones.
Yeah.
So we talked about the menopause too. I mean, women, they're just crying because they say, I'm eating right, I'm eating healthy, I'm exercising, but I'm still gaining weight.
Yeah.
They're going through their changes. Too high, estrogen too high or too low, it's going to make you gain weight.
Either way is going to be bad. And it's very, very true. I've seen it. I've had people say things like that to me. Oh, I don't understand. Or you know what? Another thing people do, they skip meals. That doesn't work.
No,
that's
it doesn't
worse.
work.
Then you
totally
never lose
worse.
weight. And people, I don't know, there's a thing in their heads about if you eat less, and that's not true. Your body needs to have fuel, and if you don't eat, it's going to feel like it's starving, and so it's going to hold on to all the fat.
Exactly.
Right? I learned that from you.
It slows your metabolism down.
Yeah, it does. It slows everything
Yeah.
because you go into starvation mode.
Yeah.
And so your body's protecting itself. There's so many things that make sense if someone explains them to you, that if people can just hold on to that, they can really change the outcome of their lives and live longer, healthier lives, from the inside out. I address the outside, you address the inside. Your outer shell, your space and all of that. Very important to feel comfortable and happy in your space. Very important to feel comfortable and happy in your skin.
Yeah, and it's also, the importance of sleep to balance your hormones.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And I remember having a bedroom once with a big black cabinet, and it just wasn't right. I never felt comfortable in that room. And you helped with redesigning that where it just made it comfortable to sleep.
Peaceful, a sanctuary.
Yes, you need that. You need that.
You do, because every room in your house has a job to do. And your bedroom, for example, should be like a sanctuary, a place that you're going to feel rest and peace. And that can be dictated by what's in there, by the color of the space, the things surrounding you, by decluttering, all of that stuff.
See, I needed your help and his father's help to get that orange rug out of the bedroom.
Oh my gosh.
It was too jarring.
It was jarring. It was jarring. And I happen to love orange. We both do. But not in that quantity. So there's a balance with hormones, and there's a balance in your space with color. You can say you like orange. It's a cute, funny story. I went over to do their house because she's gone from, we to me to we, and to blending the two households. We talked about making both people happy in the space. But your husband had, and it wasn't that it was an ugly rug, but he had this bright orange rug that was, because of the intensity of the color and because of how much of it was there, it was, kind of slapped you in the face, and that's supposed to be your bedroom, for example.
Yes.
So we ended up, between your father-in-law and myself, convincing him to take it out. But you can have, say, an orange pillow as a punctuation in there. You can have a piece of artwork, which you have a lot of beautiful art, that has a little bit of orange in it. You'll still get your orange, but you don't want to be slapped down silly, with orange in that space. You may want orange and reds in a gym because it's a stimulant.
Well, we put it in the room that I exercise
in.
in.
I do.
Yes, I do. It's really like
you are learning from me too.
Yes, and it's very invigorating.
It is invigorating.
And exercise is really important for your hormones.
There you go.
Sleep helps you get more growth hormone, which keeps you lean and it keeps you young. And weight and exercise can help boost testosterone.
Yeah. All of it's good.
And it lowers
cortisol. You see how
cortisol.
it's all connected? It's all connected. Your space, the things you wear, the things you eat, how you feel, everything is connected. I hope that, when people are watching, they understand there's not one cure. It's like, see Dr. Maita, see somebody like Dr. Maita, if there is nobody like you, but for, that's just my personal opinion. But take care of your insides. Take care of your environment. Declutter. My tip to you guys today, a cluttered space is a cluttered mind. And a cluttered mind is stressed. And when you have stress, you produce cortisol. And then you get a fat belly. And then your belly doesn't go down. And then your hormones are out of whack. So you see, it doesn't matter if we're talking about hormones or your space or whatever. It's all connected. It's all connected.
Well,
and it's,
even
it's
my
a
office.
cool thing.
You did my office.
I did.
The patients come in and they're like, this is so nice. It feels so good.
Yeah.
It's very comfortable. It's
There's
very
a lot of
soothing.
value in that.
There's
a lot. Yeah, because they're going to take in your information and be more ready to listen, and vice versa. So it's I can't stress it enough, no pun intended, but really stress is the culprit of everything. And hormones can be either good or bad. And your space can produce bad hormones because you can be stressed in your space. And eating the right things can produce good hormones. And it's all about balance of nutrition, what you eat, your supplements, balance of color, balance of a space, of a room, what you're wearing. All of it matters. And that's what the point of the show was today. So, Dr. Maita, my dear friend Lorraine, thank you so much for doing part 2 with me. Menopause, whatever,
Everybody has a pause.
Everybody has a pause, even my dog Gavin. So tell everybody quickly, oh my gosh, how we can reach you like right now.
howtoliveyounger.com.
Perfect. That's all we got. Thank you very much. Jody Topitz, We2Me.com, where a house becomes a home. Thank you.